What to eat when you don't know what to eat. You open the fridge, you stare at everything, there's nothing that sounds good, nothing that you want to eat. All you know is that you're hungry, but you have no idea what to make. The idea of choosing just seems overwhelming, whether it be because you're super busy or you're tired or you're stressed or whatever, and you don't want to not eat, but you also have literally no idea what to do. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what to do in the situation, what helps me, and how to get out of it. First of all, let's just normalize this situation a bit because it's a situation that almost everybody will run into, and for some people it's very regularly. And it's not that you have a problem with food, it's just that there's a mental load problem and decision fatigue after having to make decision after decision for the entire day. You just cannot make that last decision. So you have to decide what to eat. It's too hard, it's too overwhelming, and on top of that, if you add on the pressure of making the meal healthy and balanced and making sure that you get all the nutrients and making sure that you're satisfied with it, that you enjoy it, that your entire family enjoys it if you're cooking for other people, then it's just completely overwhelming. Now, on top of that, you can also be adding some old food rules. If you have restricted in the past, or if you're currently still restricting, then it can be really hard because you probably have a list of food in your head that you're not allowed to eat, you shouldn't eat. Like, people will think, oh, I can't have carbs for dinner, so that eliminates a lot of options. Or, oh, I already had this vegetable, so I need to have a different one tonight. Like, all of these rules that are gonna pile on top of each other and make it just so hard to find a solution. If you don't know what to eat, is it okay to wait? So first of all, this depends. If you're feeling hungry, then no, it's probably better not to wait, because also waiting too long is going to add to this difficulty, because waiting too long means you're going to be very hungry and therefore not in the best mindset to make the right decisions when it comes to the meal you want to eat. And also you're gonna have to add on top of that actual making of the meal, so that's just way too overwhelming to process. Now, if you're not hungry and you're someone who's not in tune with your hunger and fullness cues, or someone who is trying to get away from a restrictive past, then it is also good that you actually eat, because maybe you're not fully comprehending the signals that you're getting. You're feeling like you're not really hungry, but it's not really that. The only situation where I would say that it's okay not to eat something is if you're truly not feeling hunger and you're somebody who's really in tune with your hunger fullness cues, and you're sure that this is not a situation where you're like stressed or anxious and that's making you not feel the need to eat. In that case, it's okay to wait a little bit until you get a little bit more inspiration. But for most people, eating is a good idea, and this is how to do it. Step 1. Let go of perfect satisfaction. You really need to remember that not every meal is going to be perfectly balanced, super delicious, and just exactly what you were expecting. And that's okay. Sometimes the goal of a meal is just to nourish your body, and that's it. If you're always trying to hit the exact craving or have the exact taste that you want, then you're gonna end up overthinking and you're never going to be satisfied. But sometimes you just need to think about honoring your practical hunger, meaning you need to eat, and whatever food is going to nourish you, that's good. Step 2, try to choose a structure over trying to find the perfect meal. What I mean by that is, if you're trying to think of the perfect meal like from scratch, just no idea, just trying to come up with everything that goes great together, it's gonna be a little bit overwhelming. But if you try to stick to a certain pattern, a certain structure, then it's easier to break the things down. For instance, instead of asking yourself, what do I want to eat? That's like a very open-ended, vast question. But if you ask yourself, what carb do I want to eat? What protein do I want to eat? What veggie do I want to eat? And then you just assemble them together, boom, you have a meal. Ah, mais la lumière c'est relou là. C'est la nuit d'un coup quoi en fait. It might look like pasta with tofu and zucchini, Or it might look like rice with eggs and spinach, lentils with tomatoes and feta, or bulgur with cucumbers and hummus. One thing I really suggest you do is make a list of all the carbs you have available or that can be easily available to you. Then make a list for the proteins and a list for the veggies. You could just make it a randomized thing. You can just pick one and see what happens, and maybe at least you'll have a base to start with. Like maybe you'll pick bulgur with broccoli and with tofu, and then you'll realize, that sounds good, but maybe I'll switch up the bulgur for rice. I feel like that will go better together. Then what I like to do is also pick a sauce to blend everything together and to make it feel like an actual meal instead of just stuff you randomly threw together, which is kind of what we did. Some of my favorite sauces include hummus, or a vinaigrette with olive oil, vinegar, and mustard, or a coconut milk and curry sauce. And this way of thinking really helps you get out of the decision mode, because basically you're just filling in a template. Step 3, match your mood. So instead of asking yourself what to eat, try to ask yourself what you want to feel like while eating. Ask yourself, do I want something warm and comforting? Or do I want something light and fresh? Do I want something energizing and filling? Or do I want something that's like really easy to digest? Then pick foods that match that mood. For comforting, you can have some soup with bread or with like a little sandwich, or you can have some pasta or some creamy risotto. For something fresh, you can have salad with like a citrusy dressing, or some veggies and hummus, or just some fruit and yogurt if you're not really hungry. For something energizing, you can have a wrap with a bunch of stuff in it, or a burrito bowl. And for something easy to digest, you can do just some rice plain with some steamed veggies. Step 4, use your fallback foods. So I would recommend that you have a few meal ideas, at least 3 or 4, that just never disappoint and that you can make really easily and that you know are going to satisfy you. For instance, I'm gonna give you a few examples of mine. My first one would be mac and cheese. I also like doing scrambled eggs with some cherry tomatoes and some toast. I like canned lentils with some rice and herbs, pasta with olive oil and garlic, a tortilla wrap with feta cheese and beans and whatever veggie I have, usually bell pepper. And sandwiches are actually a good option as well. I've started to have personally more ham and cheese sandwiches now that I can get vegan ham. And then I put some lettuce in there and then some tomatoes, super easy. I also do tomato and mozzarella, or I do hummus and cucumber. Sometimes I do peanut butter with fresh blueberries as well. Now, are these the perfect, most balanced meals ever? No, but do they keep me fed and satisfied when I don't know what to eat? Yes. Step 5, opt for convenience. It's super important that you have at least a few pantry items on hand that you can just whip together if these kinds of days arise. I'd say you need to have at least 3 grain options like pasta, bulgur, rice. Those are the ones I always have on hand, and then I try to have more if I can. Then having some canned foods like lentils or red beans or white beans and like tomato sauce, canned veggies, or even better, frozen veggies. Ready-made meals are also okay once in a while. Like that's the ultimate convenience, but it's better than eating nothing. If you just put a microwavable lasagna ready-made in your microwave, at least you're feeding your body. Boxed mac and cheese work as well, or ramen, or any like ready-made microwavable meal, or even takeout. You can worry about adding more fiber, more veggies to your next meal. Right now, the goal is just to nourish your body. And if you're recovering from an eating disorder, please listen to this message. I feel like it's absolutely crucial to understand that eating anything at all, even if it's not perfect, that is much better than skipping a meal. Step 6, smaller meals and snacks totally count. You don't have to build a full meal if that seems too overwhelming. You can have snack foods, or like a snack tray, or like breakfast for dinner, all these things. There's no rules. You can try things like toast with a nut butter, or fruit with nut butter, yogurt and granola, oatmeal with fruit, cereal, breakfast for dinner, like I said, veggie sticks and hummus, crackers and cheese. You can mix and match these different stacks, have them, multiple of them on a little platter, and that may seem way less overwhelming than having to make an entire meal and then eat the entire meal. As long as it gives you nutrition, it works. You don't have to stress about the type of meal you're supposed to have because it's like dinner or something. Another thing that really helps if you know that you often get into this I don't know what to eat kind of mindset is to plan ahead. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean prepping, like meal prepping in a way that's going to consume your entire Sunday. My favorite way to do that, first of all, is just to make more of something I'm already planning on making. Like for instance, if I want to make a dish for just myself or for 2 people, I'm going to double the recipe, make it for 4 people. And that way I have portions that I just store. And I can use them throughout the week whenever I don't know what to eat or I don't feel like cooking. You can also do some batch cooking of certain things, like you can batch cook some grains, you can peel and cut veggies. I do this a lot for my summer salad meals, like lunches specifically, and I made a video where I show you how I do that. You can check it out right here or in the description. You can also make freezer-friendly meals like lasagna, for instance, or soups that you make a lot of and then you freeze the rest and you can keep it for a very long time to have that as a fallback. And if you really don't have time to prep, then even just meal planning can really be a lifesaver. You can just write down a few meal ideas, like 4 or 5 meal ideas, and have them ready on your fridge. Make sure that you have all the ingredients that you buy them for the week. And that way, when you come home, you just look at the list and you make something of this list. And you know you have all the ingredients, you're good to go. There's minimal thinking required. So, what should you eat when you don't know what to eat? Something simple, something familiar, something just good enough. You don't need the perfect food, the perfect balanced meal, the perfect satisfaction. You just need to eat, and that's the reality. And hopefully this video can help you with that. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye.